This is Walter Lee Hilliard III of Universal Soul Power. That's UniversalSoulPower.com, the new rhythm and bluesy contemporary hip-hop soul of podcasting. Check out my blog, UniversalSoulPower.com. Okay. So let's get started today. I want to talk about the OKC Thunder. I'm a big Carmelo Anthony fan, okay? And I watched practically every Knick game last year. And I have an issue with Coach Billy Donovan. He seems to be getting none of the blame this year for not bringing this team together and putting in offenses and situations down the stretch whereby they can be successful. Billy Donovan should be fired. I was okay with him for a while, but the whole season has gone by and he still hasn't figured this team out. Or he doesn't have the courage to tell Russell Westbrook, pass the damn ball down the stretch. Westbrook has led the league in turnovers at times this year. I believe he's probably second or third at this point in time. And the last 5-6 minutes of every game, he seems to get 4 or 5 bad turnovers, shoot air balls, fall down, throw the ball out of bounds. He just never has learned to change gears, to change speed, and fill out the defense and react. It's a skill. Look at Chris Paul down the stretch. Now you're talking about a high basketball IQ. Now, I'm not saying that Russell Westbrook with his super athleticism has to be Chris Paul, but you should learn and grow as you move through your time in the league. And he just hasn't done that. When he does pass it to Carmelo or Paul George, and he's done a good job of this at times, it almost looks forced, like, okay, here, I know you want the ball here, here's the ball, especially when it comes to Carmelo. Now, Carmelo is the best scorer of this generation. Kobe Bryant was asked who's the toughest person to play against. He said Carmelo Anthony, because he's a bull. He's strong. He has all the moves, back to the basket, can shoot the three, king of the mid-range. He can do everything. And he has what I believe is the quickest second jump. When he misses a shot or goes for a rebound, he gets back up there quicker than anyone still at this point in time. With the Knicks, Porzingis hit the wall last year, halfway through the season, and he was no help to Carmelo, yet they still blamed Carmelo and ran him out of town. People just don't understand the game. I mean, you got a lot of hacks here on TV too, including Stephen A. Smith. He tries to, pretend like he's a Carmelo fan, but he's not. Also, Carmelo rarely gets the calls from refs. This guy, since he's been in the league, gets hacked more than anybody. And they just don't like this guy. I think it's been a combination of negative press in New York because they didn't win a championship. So guys would get on his back, but he never really had much help. He had some good teams early on in Denver and New York, but he never really had a lot of help. But back to OKC. Listen, I think OKC is going to win the championship. Yes, I know I bitched and moaned and complained about their issues, but this is their time. Their issue all year has been playing down or up to the level of competition. They've beaten Houston, I think, twice. They've beaten Golden State twice. So they can beat anybody. And when they hit the playoffs, you mark my words, they are going to be going 101 miles an hour. Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, and Paul George. And now, I don't think there's going to be any selfishness with Russ because he knows that his legacy, as well as the other two guys, particularly Carmelo, not so much Paul George, because he might end up leaving. He will leave. If they do anything less than the Western Conference Finals, he's going to be out, I'm sure. He may be out anyway. But I think that these guys have bonded, and I think they bonded because they've gone through some tough times, and they've remained calm and kept their cool all year. So I believe when this court hits, no matter who they play, if they got to play somebody tough like Golden State, they fall to next to last, so be it. And they're not going to play down to the competition in the playoffs, even if they get, someone like the Jazz or something who they could annihilate. They're not going to do that in the playoffs because it's the playoffs. Now these guys will show up. They're going to take this seriously, but Billy Donovan needs to get his shit together. He needs to give that ball to Paul George half of the time. Paul George is a little bit better decision maker. Sure, Russ has led the league in triple doubles, but damn, he got the ball 99% of the time. But he's a turnover machine, especially especially down the stretch. So if he gives that ball to Paul George can be a little erratic. Carmelo's their best down the stretch scorer, I believe. He has the surest hand when it comes to shooting those threes, that mid-range. He can score. He done it in New York. He's done it in Denver. He's the most sure hand, but they're not going to make him the first option. So that's fine. But when the playoffs come, everything's tightening up anyway, so they're going to have to get the ball to Carmelo. That's my take on the OKC Thunder. This is Walter Lee Hilliard III of Universal Soul Power Sports. That's Universal Soul Power Sports. Check out my blog, UniversalSoulPower.com. Peace.